Hello, scientists. Today we are going to do an experiment to see if air has mass. So what you're going to need for this experiment, if you're going to do this around your house, is a meter stick or something long, a broomstick or something like that. You're going to need some string, some scissors, and 2 balloons. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to blow up my balloons. And then I'm going to tie them. And I want both balloons to be about the same size. So I'm just going to look at them pretty close. Okay. And then I'm going to tie both my balloons. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to do is get some string. And I am going to tie my balloons to my meter stick, one at each end. You can't really see what I'm doing down here. Okay, so I have some string. I'm gonna tie this around the balloon and then tie the balloon to the meter stick. So what I kind of want to do is I want to make this like kind of the scales of justice. Okay, so I tied my string a little short here. So we're going to tape it. Be right back. And through the magic of science, I got some tape. Okay, so I'm going to tape this guy to my meter stick. So it's hanging down. Now I want to do the same thing on the other side with the other balloon. So I'm gonna tie this around here and I'm gonna tape it to the other side. So I did this about 2 inches in. Let me do this on this side so you can see. I tied this guy about 2 inches in, so I wanna tie this guy about the same distance down and about the same far in from the end. So I want to kind of just make sure this is pretty close. This guy needs to come down a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to tape it down. Okay, so I'm almost done with my setup. I have my 2 balloons, and now I want to put a piece of string in the center to kind of hold this so I can do make it like a balance. So I'm just gonna get a piece of string here and I'm gonna tie it around the center of my meter stick. So this isn't gonna be exact center yet, but it's gonna give it enough leeway. I'm gonna leave it so enough little bit of a leeway so I can move it if I have to. Because this is kind of where I'm gonna grip on. So what I wanna do is I wanna get this to a point where these 2 are balanced. And then once I find that point, I want to tape the string down so it doesn't move anymore while I'm trying to do my experiment. And so this part can be a little tricky. I think this might be pretty close to the middle here. Or not. So you can see this is kind of a struggle for me. It was a little bit of a struggle last year we were trying to do this. Okay. All right, I'm gonna back it up. Okay, so you can see I'm pretty close to being even. So I'm just gonna tape this guy so that it doesn't move when I'm trying to balance. Okay, so the concept that we want to talk about here is, does air have mass? So mass is the amount of matter in something. It's very similar to weight. Weight is a measure of gravitational pull. Your weight is different on different planets, but your weight is the same, or your mass is the same everywhere. So mass and weight are kind of interchangeable in this situation. So right now they're balanced. For the most part, I'm a little shaky here from Coke Zero. So these guys are balanced. So now what I want to do is I want to see what happens if one of these balloons were to start to leak. So I don't have any assistants here with me, so I'm just going to kind of take this down. And I'm going to do a very, 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 very small, slow leak in my balloon. Okay? So balanced once again. Get it balanced. And I did a slow leak in my balloon on the right. I'm having a little trouble keeping this balanced here. And I don't want to hold it in, I don't want to hold the meter stick because I want to see really what's going to happen, not what happens when I'm not trying to balance or when I'm holding on to it, okay? So. I'm going to push this air out a little faster here. I only got 22 minutes. We got to go a little faster. Okay. And just for the enjoyment of all, see if I'm gonna cut this just a smidge more so we get a little bit of a faster. Okay. And so we're watching to see as the balloon on this side loses air, what's going to happen. This one's a little bit easier to do in person. Sometimes we have to help things along a little bit. I want this to stay. For part 2 of our experiment today, we are going to find out if air takes up space or if air has volume. Volume is the amount of space an object takes up. So I have an empty water bottle. I'm going to take the cap off, and I am going to just take this balloon and I'm going to put it over the top of the water bottle. And I want to be really careful that I don't put a hole in my balloon. So now all I'm going to do is just do a quick squeeze, and we notice the balloon is blowing up. And I let go. And the balloon isn't blowing up anymore. So let's try that one more time. Balloon up. Balloon not blowing up. You can only do this a couple of times before your ball gets really crinkled. So that's all for this experiment.